Students, this is question 9. We are expected to solve f of x and give the solution in the form of a positive b times root of c, where a, b, c are constants. Now for this, let me consider the given f of x equal to 0. Let us consider f of x to be equal to 0. So this means x negative 4 times root of x positive 1 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to take x to be equal to, say, some u squared. So root of x will be equal to u. So this in turn can be rewritten as, I have to write x. In place of x I will be writing u squared. And this is 4 times of u, positive 1 is equal to 0. So I'm using quadratic equation to solve this. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 4, c is equal to 1. So therefore u is equal to negative b. So negative of negative 4 plus or minus root of negative b squared negative 4 times a is 1, c is 1 divided by 2 times of a. So this would give me 4 plus or minus root of negative 4 squared, that's 16, negative 4 divided by 2, which is 4 positive or plus or minus root of 12 divided by 2. Now square root of 12 is nothing but 4 into 3 with a root there, which can be rewritten as 2 times root of 3. So this is going to be 4 plus or minus 2 times root of 3 divided by 2. 2 can be cancelled everywhere, giving us 2 plus or minus root of 3. Okay, but what is this? This is actually u, but my u squared is equal to x, right? So we need to revert things back. So how are we going to revert it back? So from here, x is equal to u squared. So you substitute this value. It's going to be 2 plus or minus root of 3 the whole squared. So you square it up. So it's going to be 4 plus or minus. You can just take the first value for positive. So it's going to be 2 times of 2. So it's 4 times root of 3 plus root of 3 the whole squared. So that would give us root of 3 squared is going to be 3. So you add these two together, you get 7. So 7 plus 4 times root 3. Now this is one value, right? But since we have to cater to the other value, you can simply state a negative sign there. So this is going to be my solution. So hence we have obtained the required result. That's what is required, right? Required result. So you can state that. So this is what is required. So we have got that. Now that completes one part of the question. Now there is another part of the question. What is that? Another part. Let me write that down. Given f of x is equal to g h of x, you are asked to find m and n. Now we have g of x. Now g of x is m times x squared positive n, and h of x is root of x negative 2. The solution given f of x is equal to g h of x. Now this is nothing but g of h of x. I can write it like this. So I'm going to say consider g of h of x, which is nothing but g of h of x is root of x negative 2. You take this and you substitute here. So this is equal to m times root of x negative 2 the whole squared, positive n. You square this, positive n. So this is equal to m times square root of x squared is going to be x there, and you have positive 2 there, negative 4 times root of x, positive n. So this is what you have got. Now this is 4, right? When you square 2 you have to get 4 there. So this is what you've got. Now what I would do is I would have to now compare it with f of x, right? So we know that f of x is equal to x negative 4 times the root of x positive 1. On the left you will have x, I'm going to write this as x positive 1 negative 4 times root of x, and I'm going to rewrite this as m times of x positive 4 negative 4 times m of root of x positive n, right? So what we can do is we can equate the terms. Now I would distribute m here, so this is going to be m times x plus 4 times m negative 4 times m root of x positive n. This can be again rewritten as m times x negative 4 times m root of x positive 4m plus n. On the left you have x, I'm going to rewrite this as negative 4 times the root of x positive 1. Now equating x, we get equating the coefficients of x. So what do you get here? Coefficient of x here is m, coefficient of x here is 1. So this means m is equal to 1, that's one value. Now coefficient of root of x is negative 4m and coefficient of root of x is negative 4. So clearly m is equal to 1 again. Now the constant term, so equating the constant term, equating the constant term, what do we get? You get 4m positive n is equal to 1, but m is equal to 1. So this means 4 positive n is equal to 1. So n is equal to 1 negative 4, which means n is equal to negative 3. So we have got the value of m and n. That completes the solution.